this is how much you owe. If you don't pay us, we're locking the doors and we're taking your shit. So this guy wrote in the real estate jackpot. Now this is, I don't remember if this is with respect to the building that I sold for over $1 million. Like I made, $1.2 million on that industrial property. But this guy writes in, he says, great video, found it super informative in regard to residential real estate investing and tenant management. Do you ever have issues with your industrial property tenants? I'd love to hear more on the commercial side on a future video. Keep up the great work.
That's something we haven't talked about before.
No. So I have actually had some issues with industrial tenants.
Well, first of all, what like walk the listeners through, like, what do you have in terms of industrial properties?
Yeah. So I have this building. I have a building over at where Canadian Protein is manufacturing out of, and I have other tenants inside of that. It's like an industrial plaza. So I've had some issues with the construction guys in the back. There's like a 4,000 square foot building in the back with a yard, and there's construction guys back there. I've had some issues with them. I ended up working out the issues, but I've had some issues. I did have some issues with another tenant at the building that I sold for 1.2 mil extra. So I bought this particular industrial building for like literally, I don't even know. I think it was like 1.2 million, and I sold it for like 2.4. So I literally made like $1.2 million from this property. Like it was literally a year.
Yeah.
But the time the tenant was in there, I had some fucking issues with this guy. That was about a 24,000 square foot building. The one that we're in is about 60,000 square feet here. And the one over at Q Drive is about 48,000. I have another industrial property that is, I think, 18,000 square feet. And we never really have any issues with those guys. And that's a really good lease. I'll get into that. That's also sitting on 3 acres. Right across the street from a very nice residential area in a really nice part of town, and right next door to like a 300 fucking unit condo development. So you better believe when that lease is done or they don't want to renew, they have 10 years worth of first rights of refusal. So the way that this works with this tenant, and they're a great tenant, don't get me wrong. Complete triple net. I don't fucking take care of anything. If the roof falls in, I have to take care of anything structural. I have to take care of. Other than that, I don't touch it. I'll give you an example. About a year ago, some assholes got on the roof and stole the coils, like the copper coils out of the AC units. Not my responsibility, right? So anything doesn't matter. It's a facade, paint, like nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't handle anything. I don't handle windows broken, like none of that shit. Only if it's structural. Roof, structural shit, like the walls, they're caving, like something, I got to take care of that. Other than that, I don't touch anything. It's not my responsibility. They pay for taxes, they pay their own insurance, they pay every single fucking thing. That's where industrial properties are amazing. And they don't pay the bill within reason. Now, say for example, they don't pay the bill 3 days into the month, you throw a lock on the door, lock them out. That's unreasonable, right? Contact them. If they have a historical, on a month-to-month basis of giving you issues paying, then no. You want to be done with it? The third comes, or whatever the date is, third or fourth comes, lock on the door, lock them out with all their shit in it and everything. But you have to be careful, because if you're unreasonably not allowing them to make an income, it could present an issue for you as a landlord.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you have to kind of still tread a little bit lightly, but you have a lot more room to muscle your tenants around in commercial properties, right? I am running into an issue right now. So I have a downtown, I got like a fuzz in my fucking nose here. I have a downtown property right now, downtown Windsor. It was in one of my videos before. It's a property that I've tried to have zoned for 4 apartments above the commercial space. Like I have 2 like storefronts there. I have one tenant below that rents the entire bottom part, and we've been having issues. Like this guy, I think, makes and sells like natural soap, and natural like fucking deodorant and shit like that, right? The reason why that building is attractive to a tenant like that is because in the summertime, especially, you have I don't know if it goes through through the wintertime, but you have, what do you call that? Like it's like the market,
like a farmer's market.
Yeah, it's like a farmer's market that goes down the street in the downtown core in Windsor, which is really cool actually. It's actually like really cool for like craft stuff. It's like really cool and like boutique style of, you know, items or whatever that people make.
It gets a lot of foot traffic.
It really does. So it's strategically placed, and it's a nice building. It's a really nice location. It's in the better part of the one street that I have. Now, I've had some issues with this guy, and although he's still there, I've had to take a hard line with him, saying like, listen. And I again, I'm a very reasonable person. As long as you're willing to work with me, I'll work with you. It's been months, and every single month he gives us a hard time. Now, this is where...
Like in what sense?
Just not paying. I don't know if he's not making enough money or not, but he's just not paying.
Like not paying at all or just paying late?
Both. We've accepted late payments. He's not paying at all in some cases. Now, the problem with accepting late payments, what that basically says is you're accepting his bargain to eventually pay you in full. So if you actually want a tenant out, especially in an industrial commercial, you cannot accept late payments, right? If you're going to take a hard line, you have to say, okay, no, we're not accepting your late payment, or we're not accepting especially partial payment, okay? The problem that I've run into in the past is I've accepted partial payment. It went the full month. We never got full payment. We're now into another month, and we got another partial payment. And to go back to claim the partial payment, it's a pain in the ass. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, you can go through the courts and do it, and like the tribunal and everything. But in the end, it's gonna be an issue. So I feel the better stance is, again, unless you want to be cordial and unless the person's really trying to work with you, then that's fine. You know, at the end of the day, this guy did make good. So I'm happy I did, but we had to take a pretty fucking hard line. The last time this has gone on for 4 or 6 months. The last month, this past, I believe it was October, we basically said, listen, here's a line in the sand. We're no longer accepting late payments. We're no longer accepting partial payments. This is how much you owe. If you don't pay us, we're locking the doors and we're taking your shit. And that's it. So he ended up coming to us $4,000 check. So like, you see what I mean? Like, so I might have not had to deal with all of those issues if I would have drawn that hard line in the sand from the beginning. And that's lack of direction from me, telling my property managers like, hey, listen, just try to work with the guy and whatever, right? Because I will try to work with people, right? But he started to become a little bit MIA a bit when we were requesting it. I don't like that. Okay, you want to start playing games like that? Hard lines getting fucking drawn. Now I'm not being cordial guy anymore. So my recommendation to people is, more often than not, you will get fucked if you try to take that position. My recommendation for people that own commercial or retail or whatever, industrial, fucking hard line in the sand, give them a few opportunities to make good, and only do it out of potential liability for yourself. They don't make good, hard line in the fucking sand, you're done. That's it. No partial payment, no late payment accepted. It's it, you're done. Full payment by this date. If not, the process starts. That's it, done. So that's my recommendation for industrial properties. Also, commercial properties, they do not operate the same as residential. The landlord tenant board for residential is very, very tough. That, you know, I've had people in my houses right now, even for like 8 months, that have not paid rent, and to go through the entire system and get them evicted, it takes forever. It just takes for fucking ever.